This is episode number 36 of The Inspiring Talk with social entrepreneur Mathew Jose. Welcome guys to The Inspiring Talk. My name is Gautam. I'm host for this show. Each week I interview today's most successful and inspiring personalities to help you realize your inner potential. Boys and girls, welcome to another episode of The Inspiring Talk. I'm super pumped for my guest, Mathew Jose. Mathew is a social entrepreneur based in Chennai. Over the last 7 years, he has established himself in the field of recycling in India through the social enterprise he runs called Paperman. He has pioneered the creation of innovative models of recycling that motivates people to recycle. He has created a platform called trashfunding that helps people to convert their trash into an investment for social change. His expertise also lies in the key understanding he has about India's 1.5 million strong informal sector recyclers. He is passionate about improving their livelihoods through his innovations. Mathew's innovative method to improve recycling has got him recognition from media world over like BBC, People Magazine and more. In 2016, Forbes Magazine has added Mathew into the annual list of 30 people under age of 30 from India and Asia. Mathew has been awarded the prestigious Ashoka Fellowship in 2015 and he is also most recently a Nelis Japan Member. In this conversation, Mathew shares about why was he fascinated by trash and his story of starting Paperman, challenges he has to go through as a social entrepreneur, the untapped opportunity in trash economy and his innovative ideas to promote recycling of waste and much more. I hope you will enjoy listening to this as much as I enjoyed interviewing Mathew. Now, before I welcome Mathew, guys, make sure that you share this episode with your friends by visiting theinspiringtalk.com/3636. Now, I would like to read a review of the week for this podcast. Dr. Gord from US writes, I enjoy these brief inspirational moments. You can tell host Gautam is passionate about keeping listeners inspired and moving forward. I love the mix of wisdom and quotes from notable people, but also the wisdom and passion from the host as well. Thank you so much, Dr. Gord, for your kind review. I'm glad that you love the podcast and found some time to leave a review. Guys, if this is your first time listening to this show, make sure that you subscribe to The Inspiring Talk podcast on your podcast app on iPhone or Castbox app on Android or wherever you get your podcast from so that you won't miss upcoming great interviews with successful and inspiring personalities every week. And if you are already subscribed to the show and have been listening to this for quite some time, make sure that you leave a review for the show and hopefully give a 5-star rating so that I can feature you in upcoming episodes. Now, without further ado, let me welcome Mathew Jose. Welcome back inside episode number 36 of the Inspiring Talk podcast. Mathew Jose is here chatting with me today. Mathew, welcome to the show.
Hi Vijay, great to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks for joining in.
Thank you.
So Mathew, we first met last month at the FailCon Conference of Failures where
Yes.
I got to connect with you
Yes.
and learn more about you and your work. And I was fascinated by the mission that you are on and the hard work that you are putting to achieve that mission. Trash for sure is one of the biggest problem of the planet today, right? But the way you look at it is as an opportunity. What's the opportunity in trash?
Well, trash is a huge opportunity space. It is a 37,000 crore budgeted area for the government across the country. It is in every other city you go to, it's a 5,000 crore market. Just the unit economics of trash by itself. So there is a lot of there's a huge opportunity in the space, depending on where you are playing in the space. So yes.
So you are talking about building a trash economy, right? So what is trash economy and how can that help in the overall economy of the country?
So trash economy is basically about the second life cycle of materials, right? your normal materials that you buy in your life, like say a pen or a pencil or a laptop and everything, has a first life cycle value, right? That is the value that you attach to the material when you buy it from the market. The second life cycle value is the one of trash economy. Trash economy purely is when once your use of the material is done, there are certain materials that are there part of this product. That is, and there might be plastic, there will be a ink component and a metal component. For laptops, there will be various electronic waste components, chipboards, metal components, plastic components, and much more. Is the economy that extracts the value out of these material once your first life cycle use is over. That's pretty much trash economy, yes.
Yeah, so it's pretty much about using or recycling the waste that you are generating at your home, right? So how did you even got interested in this? What's your story?
Well, I after my graduation, that is way back in 2009, I worked with a nonprofit like Snora International for a year. That's when I got introduced to the sector of waste management. Once I was introduced to the sector, I felt the whole challenge was so exciting and huge that I felt there's a lifetime's work worth doing in this space. So that's how I started in 2010. I started Paperman, and I was 22 when I started, and then yeah, it just went on. So yeah, my 1 year work with the nonprofit is what inspired me to start this work.
That's awesome. So what is your family background? Or I have read it that your dad has a business of plywood, right? So that means that involve cutting trees. How you are saving trees?
Family is from Kerala, south of India, and they are traditionally we are into a family of plywood manufacturing family. So yes, so the funny way to look at it is my father cuts trees for a living, and I save trees for a living. And I came to Chennai when I was 18 to do my graduation. And then when I was like 21, I joined this nonprofit, and 22, I started Paperman. That's pretty much my story before Paperman.
That's pretty interesting. As you said, like you started working with an NGO, and then that's how you got introduced to all this trash kind of stuff, right?
Yes.
And one thing that you have excelled it is incentivizing people for recycling their waste, because it's not easier, to get people recycle their waste just by giving them a couple of bucks, what our kabadiwalas are doing, right?
Yeah.
So the model that you have been bringing in to attach emotions to motivate them to recycle trash is pretty interesting. So can you talk a bit more about like what are the different kind of incentives that you do through Paperman?
Well, so I see my role in Paperman as a behavioral scientist. That's what I like to work on. I like nudging people into forming better habits around recycling and other things as well. Yes, the Paperman are quite innovative in terms of how we engage the citizens to start recycling. We don't try be preachy. That is, we don't go to communities and talk about the importance of recycling. We go and create engaging models that makes a person want to be a part of it. So yes, we don't do the pull strategy or the push strategy. We try kind of do the pull strategy for getting people into place. So one of the most famous and well-known model of one of our incentive structures is the trash funding concept. This is a concept where your trash at your home, that is your paper, plastic, the ruddy at your home, right, becomes a social investment. So what we have done is we sort of build a platform like Kickstarter, where as a individual household user or a corporate user or any kind of user you are, a trash producer that you are, you can place a request on our call center or request or through our website to come and have a pickup from your house, and choose a nonprofit that you want to give that funds to, right? That particular trash, the amount that will be extracted from it to, and that money will be going to the nonprofit. And you'll be able to track all the, how this money is being used, how people how the social NGO is making an impact and all that kind of stuff. So it's a whole experience around your trash as such.
That's pretty interesting. So how many NGOs do you have now listed on your platform?
40 nonprofits with us. They've raised close to 25 lakhs.
Oh, that's amazing. That's huge number. So how long have you been starting this nonprofit thing?
This has been on since...
From the very beginning? Or?
No, this is on since 2015.
How do you select these nonprofits, or are you open for new nonprofits, or how does this thing work?
Yeah, so now we are sort of consolidating and we're working with the existing number. We are working on improving the experience for our users than accumulating more nonprofits at this point. The whole idea that we look is the cost. The cost should be inspiring enough for me to be a part of it, right? So it's very simple. Like when people disappear or something, you look at the cost of the nonprofit organization, right? So that makes it inspiring to be a part of it. So yeah, that's pretty much the same thing we also do when we look at this.
So to the end user who want to sell their waste or trash, you give them both the options, like whether you have an opportunity to either to donate or you can make money out of the trash?
Yes, both options are available. Just to add to that, today, like a household trash is worth around, say, 150 rupees a month. That's a 1 month accumulation of the value of trash. And most people are not very keen to, call a kabadiwala, sell it, and, make a money out of it. Not everybody's there at home also most of the time today. We are all living in a world where everybody is busy. People keep moving up forward, So this sort of model kind of helped, because the fact that I know that my 1 year's trash is sending a child to school kind of motivates me to do more recycling. So that's the concept behind this trash funding platform.
What's so satisfying about starting a social enterprise?
What is most satisfying about starting a social enterprise is a very interesting question. The most satisfying thing is it pushes you to your limits, right? To a point that sometimes you break down. You absolutely can break down. But a social enterprise kind of gives you sort of an authentic sense of being. You feel genuine, you feel authentic, and you're doing something that makes a difference. As in, like you're actually changing a few people's lives, and you're seeing how it's happening, right? I'm not disregarding any company for profit. I think every person and every company in this world has a role to play. In a social entrepreneurship concept, you are very much connected, because most social enterprises are much smaller in size than large companies. In this case, everybody is a part of even your beneficiary is a part of your team, right? So that's the one thing I like about social enterprise more. There's always a heart while you also grow financially, which is something which is very exciting for me.
You get to make that impact on the ground level, or you get to work with wide range of people and make that social impact with social enterprise. How would you suggest, or what would you suggest to someone looking to start their own social enterprise?
I didn't have a plan when I started. I just went with the flow, and one thing shaped to the other, and life just moved on, and I just learned what to do. That's all I went about, right? Even today I say, like, life is what happens while you keep planning, right? That's what life is. But yeah, I would definitely say have good mentors, and I especially use the word good mentors. Good mentors are people who can guide you through your good time, and guide you through your bad time. So you need both. Like when things are going good, leap forward. And when things are going bad, you need to learn how to be patient and sustain through that period to move to the great good phases. So there are ups and downs. That's all part of life. So you need really good mentors or guides who can be a support system for you when you go through these phases. It's very, very important, because it's not a linear line in which you're moving, right? How much ever exciting an idea is at the start of it, as you keep going through it, there are so many things that you need to learn, right? You will learn about yourself, your own personal challenges, how to work with teams, challenges when you build a team and people in the team leave, and these are all things that keep happening. You might be betting very big on a project, might have put months of work onto a project, and that just does not take shape. So, like, say 2-3 months of all the work that you put, all nighters and everything, just falls flat on one day, right? Or 1 minute. So all these kind of stuff, you need to learn how to handle it, both emotionally and mentally and everything. It is quite a tough journey, but it is one of those journeys, if once you go through it, one of the most fulfilling journeys. And I have no doubt about it. It's definitely helps you become a better person. It helps you find more about who you want to be, who you are, and what are the priorities for you in your life. So I think, yeah, I think definitely that is the my key advice would be, go for this journey, but have really good people around. That's the key.
So since you have been talking about mentors, which is a very, 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 very interesting topic for me, because I love talking about mentors and having mentors in life, as many guests in this podcast have talked about that in the past as well. How important is it for you to have mentors in your life? What is your approach in choosing a mentor for you? Or are there any set criteria that you have that I will consider this person as a mentor if he does these things or he has got these things? One of the things is definitely the person must have walked the path that you want to walk, right? That is the very, very basic thing that you want to see. You cannot be making mentor to the person who have not even walked down that path, right? That is one of the criteria. Are there any other things that you look at a person before you consider him or her as your mentor?
So personally speaking, I've been very bad at this space. Getting mentors is something which I've been quite bad. I'm lately picking up. The skills are something that I'm it's very new thing for me. My current strategy around it, I don't know whether it's right or wrong. It's something which I work with today. Is you find mentors for different qualities that you need in your life, right? Some people are really good with planning, right? At the end of the day, mentor or mentee or anything, you're human beings, right? You're people, right? Some people are really good at risk taking. Some people are really good at planning. Some people are really good at motivating. Some people are really good at the motivation and visioning, right? Like dreaming it up, right? I call it dreaming it up. Some people are um, some people are really good with communication, right? How to go about your communication. So you don't have to have only one mentor guiding you through all this, right? You don't need to have a mentor who is exactly from your own industry. Sometimes it helps to have a mentor from another industry, but because they can give you a very different viewpoint, perspective of a very different perspective of what you're going through from their industries per se. And most times, innovation between industries. When you learn between different industries is when you are able to innovate better. Because innovation in most times is taking an idea which has been implemented well in one industry and taking it and applying it to another industry. 90% of the innovation is that in this world, right? So, so yeah, it's very, very important. It's very, very important to learn uh, between industries. So my concept of mentor today, because I'm much later in life, is not to have a single mentor, but to have three or four, depending on your need, where you want to be, and then work with that. That's the idea for mentors for me today.
Can you share a bit about the different kind of challenges that you face in social enterprise, which is not that prevalent in for-profit organizations?
Social enterprise, you have to work with emotions a lot more than other enterprises. Emotions as such, the more you work with it, it can get really tiring, but the more you learn dealing with it, the better you get at it. So because a lot of people who join social enterprise come from a very passion space, and it's more about their ideas, and a lot about the people that they bring together on that. So it's a very tricky thing to work with people in the social enterprise space. So if you learn that, that's a different challenge to what is for a person who works in the for-profit space. Most of the for-profit space, it's a contract, it's a transactional relationship, right? I do so much, you pay me so much. It's a transactional relationship between the employee and the employer. Yes, there are organizations with great relationships. I'm not disregarding anything, but generally, if you see the larger majority of the market is transactional relationship, right? I'm going to be here for a particular period. You pay me so much, and I will deliver this to you. That's the kind of understanding. But in a social enterprise, they're more the relationships get more than transactional most times. And that can be challenging when you have 50, 60 people, and you not be able to adhere to every part from a transactional level for 50, 60 people. In simple lives, even in homes, it's very difficult to have that kind of a real value relationship with everybody along with you, right? So yeah, that can get a little bit of challenging. I think that's something which you learn as you keep moving forward in this thing. Second thing, in India, one of the biggest challenges with social enterprises, people try to stereotype you as NGO, an NGO guy, right? An NGO thing, a non-profit thing, and that kind of stereotype does not help. I would never actually cross sell my organization as a social enterprise. I say I'm working in the waste management space, and I'm trying to make this space work, right? And I see a profitable company. It is quite a challenge when people stereotype you as an NGO guy. So that's something which we want to stay away from. And another key challenge is today to even get talent. It's not that easy, right? The for-profit space takes away most of the talent. Really good talent actually ends up in the for-profit space. But things are getting conventionally. It was not easy to get really good talent to come and work with the non-profit sector. But today there are more and more people who actually value their quality of life over the money that they come into their bank. So that which is a very good shift, right? A lot more people actually value the quality of life, being more authentic, being living a life where they have a meaning to it. These are things that a lot more people value more today than just getting more and more money in the bank account, which is a very, very good shift. And there's a tremendous flow of entrepreneurs and people that's coming into the sector today. As a social entrepreneur, it's for me, it's about how well can I tap into that market? How well can I get more people who are aligned to these thoughts and beliefs to work together with me? These are the key challenges that I need to constantly work with. When money is not your key bribe, right? And your vision and mission is your key bribe, you need to always be at the top notch of yourself, right? You need to be constantly be able to sell your vision, sell your mission, the plan that you have constantly 100% every time, because that's your biggest weapon that you have to bring people towards you and your work, and to grow it. So you need to be really on your top game every day. Consistently doing that over 8 9 years, it's not a very easy thing. You have your ups and downs personally in your life too, and consistently doing that is not a challenge. That's something which I continuously try, even when things go different. How do I consistently keep putting my top game in front, right? Yeah, that's something which we all need to learn, and that's a challenge. And that each of these challenges, once you face them and you work with them, it only makes you stronger, right? And so challenges are a good thing as well.
You learn a lot when you face those challenges, and when you are on the other side of that challenge, then you are not the same person, definitely, because you have learned a lot facing that particular challenge, right? So Mathew, what are some of the other works that you are doing?
I run another foundation called Open Act. Basically, I facilitate conversations around environment, basically sustainable development goals. UN has proposed the 17 sustainable development goals, on which a goal is set for 2030 for the world. I facilitate sessions that's around everything, green buildings to energy to water to waste to everything around those every alternate Saturday in Chennai. And we are setting up chapters now in Bangalore, Delhi, Mumbai. So you're setting up chapters for Open Act. So it's a community that meets up every alternate Saturday for 90 minutes to talk about these key challenges of our times. So that's going pretty well. I play a role of facilitator here and helping to take the model to different cities. We've been in operation since 2017. That's something which keeps me busy apart from Paperman. Other than that, I enjoy meditation. I enjoy my walk every day. That I really enjoy that. I enjoy going out and playing football with friends. These are the things that fills up my life.
Since you talk about meditation, what does your morning routine looks like, or how do you prepare yourself for the day ahead in the morning?
Well, I'm not an expert at it, but I wake up, say, quite early. I wake up around 6, 5:36. That's my usual waking up time. I try and pen down my thoughts, which as soon as I wake up, I try and pen down my thoughts. Whatever thoughts is there in my head, I try and pen it down. I like my waking up hours. It's something, it's most valuable thing to me, that early morning waking up hours. Then I kind of do a 20-minute sort of a meditation, which really helps me to just detach from all the ideas and thoughts and my being, and just be connected to my own self and the world.
What does a meditation practice looks like? What is it? A simple breathing exercise, or some guided kind of meditation, or what is it?
Yeah, I do both. I do a simple breathing exercise, and I do a 10 minutes of a guided meditation.
Any tools or maybe app that you use for that matter?
Yes, I use an app called Insight Timer.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very powerful meditation app, and I really enjoy using it. I used to use Headspace a year back, but I eventually found Insight Timer to be more useful for me. So yeah, I use Insight Timer. Yeah, I do that. I do the meditation. I do a bit of reading, morning reading, and half an hour I spend to plan out my day, the stuff that I need to get done, and a few things like that. Then I go for a 1 hour walk. Right after that, a walk or a jog, whatever that appeals on that day. And then spend some time reading the papers, and then have my breakfast by 9. And I'm usually at work by 10.
Mathew, what are some of the goals that you would like to achieve in another 5 or maybe 10 years? Anything specific that you'd like to share?
Well, I'm quite passionate about the waste management space, and this is an area for me which has been very close, and something which I've really put my life through. So definitely, I want to, in the next 10 years, I would like to see a much better shift in the way waste management is done in India. So my work will be directed at that. This means more improved material recycling, better collection facilities, better behavioral change, and more. Right. So it's a very huge thing.
What is one thing that you are still struggling to overcome, or the challenge that you are facing right now?
A challenge today that I face mostly is around to like there's so much to do, right? And today, one key challenge would be to get people to take ownership of their trash. That's a very, very, very difficult thing, right? Because when I go to a school or an institution or a company or something, people are like, "I'm ready to pay. Can you take care of my trash?" That sort of a model does not work. From my experience, I honestly feel you need to really start, take ownership of their trash. So that's a very big thing, because the whole concept of zero waste happens when you start thinking about it. You start working towards it. You make it part of your habit, like you brush your teeth 2 times a day or 1 time a day, whatever. It should be a part. Managing waste should be a part of your routine habit, right? Taking care of your environment, it should be a part of your routine habit. The simple thing is, we as Indians, so it's a deep rooted mental frame, right? We as Indians, we take pride in our homes. We don't take pride in your locality. When you don't take pride in your locality, that is where the challenge comes. I strongly believe in that, and I think a lot needs to be done to make that work.
Mathew, now it's time for the enlightening round. Are you excited?
Yes, I'm ready for that.
So, Mathew, what inspires you to do everything that you do?
My peace, my joy with my own self. I think that's inspires me.
The peace that comes from making impact?
Yeah, my if I wake up in peace, and that's inspiring for me.
Awesome. There are some books in each one of our lives, right, that comes and leaves impact on us, and maybe makes us think differently, or bring about that change in our life. Are there any those kind of books in your own life that has left a big impact on you?
I've had various books that left a big impact on me, but I think one key book would be Eckhart Tolle's Power of Now, and another one would be Philip Knight's Shoe Dog. It's about the Nike's owner and his story. Yeah, it's very inspiring.
If you were to start this success journey all over again, what are those 3 things that you think you would have done differently?
I would have engaged more mentors in the beginning days. I would have joined more networks that would have helped me get access to things. I would have worked better on improving my communication plan when I work, and I would have definitely worked on improving my communication. So these are three things: more mentors, more network, and improved communication.
So, Matthew, is there any online tool or app that you found very, very useful for you in your business or maybe life?
So I use a few apps which are really helpful for different purposes. For collecting information, I use something called Google Keep. Quite useful for me. For like whenever I see something, I read something on the mobile or something, I just save it on Google Keep, and that really helps to connect back later and read further on it. Second, I'm a big lover of Insight Timer. I mentioned earlier. That app has been very, very powerful for me, and it's really helped me to be in the right mental state to face mental and emotional state to face things. So yeah, so Insight Timer is a great app, and I really enjoy using that. Yeah, these two are the real game changers for me. These two apps.
So, Matthew, I have one more question left for you. But before that, if people want to learn more about you and Paperman and your work, and if they want to connect with you, what's the best possible way?
For Paperman, you can reach out to me at info. You can type a mail out to me at info@paperman.in. I'll be happy to connect and help you take things through. It's info@paperman.in. For more info on Open Act, if you are interested, we are starting up chapters in Mumbai, Delhi, and Bangalore. So if you are interested in learning how you can be a part of that chapter and growing Open Act in your community, reach out to me on our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Open Act Community. These are pretty ways that we can engage and take things forward.
Guys, make sure that you connect with Mathew on all different social media platforms and check out his website at Paperman and Open Act and all the works that Mathew is doing to make this world a better place. And he is so reachable, and he responds to all the messages that he get, right? And he is so eager in helping you out, and he's always there for you. So make sure that you connect with him and learn more from him and learn more about his work. And if you have any kind of questions or doubts, then feel free to reach out to him. So Mathew, here's the last question for you. Since you have already given 3 TEDx talks, imagine there is this biggest arena built in the history of the world, and there are millions of seats in that arena, and then each of those seats are filled, right? All of those seats in that biggest arena ever built with millions of people is filled, and people are eagerly and passionately sitting there and listening to you. You are there at the stage, and you were given with 1 minute of time to address those people. What would be your message to all those people listening to you?
Be more nice to yourself. I think that would be the key message that I will give every person. Be more nice to yourself.
It has been an amazing conversation, Mathew. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, Howard. It is really nice to be here, Vijay. You really took this conversation really well, and I think kudos to you. I think great effort you're making to doing this. Thank you so much.
Hey guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode of The Inspiring Talk. I hope you enjoyed my conversation with Mathew. If you learned something or got some inspiration from this episode, make sure to share this with your friends by visiting theinspiringtalk.com/3636. You can access all the resources such as books, links, apps, or any other information mentioned in this episode by visiting theinspiringtalk.com/3636. Also, make sure that you take a screenshot of this episode right now and share it on your Instagram story. And don't forget to tag me at @BJSpeaks. Also, make sure to share this with your friends on Facebook and Twitter. Let's spread this information out to the world and help other people learn as well. And finally, the journey might not always be a smooth one. There are going to be ups and downs as you navigate through the life. But my friend, Have faith on yourself and this universe and continue taking one step at a time, and you shall reach there in no time. Thank you so much for listening. I'll catch you in the next. Now, go out there and do something inspiring.